We make thousands of decisions every single day. But how often do we really stop and ask ourselves, what's my guide here? What is it that tells me I'm actually on the right path? It's a question that really gets to the heart of how we live our lives. I mean, think about it. We're constantly navigating this world of infinite choices, from the tiny ones to the ones that change everything. So, how do we know? Is there some kind of map, a compass we're supposed to follow? Well, this exact dilemma is at the core of a really ancient and powerful concept called Dharma. And today, we're going to explore its incredible journey through time. All right, so let's start at the beginning. The earliest idea of Dharma wasn't about some personal feeling or inner voice. Nope, it was more like a grand societal blueprint. And the goal was actually pretty simple: create order. The instruction manual for all of this? A text known as the Manusmriti. So in this first stage, you can think of Dharma as the universal glue holding everything together. It was the cosmic law that kept the stars moving in the sky, and it was the social law that gave every single person a very clear role to play. Doing the right thing wasn't about what you felt was right. It was about fulfilling your specific duty to keep society stable and harmonious. And when I say detailed, I mean, it's kind of astonishing. The Manusmriti is basically a legal and social code that lays out these super specific rules for almost everything you can imagine. Who you should marry, what you should eat, rituals for purity, the exact duties for your specific station in life. It was this huge, comprehensive system, all designed to keep things stable. And this right here, this gives you a really clear window into just how prescriptive that early Dharma was. As you can see, a woman's duty was defined entirely by her relationship to the men in her life. The rules were absolute, and they were all designed to create a social structure that was predictable and, above all, stable. This quote, wow, it really captures the core principle, doesn't it? It shows that your duty, your dharma, was bigger than your personal feelings, or even the character of your husband. The most important thing was just fulfilling your role. This was a world built on external rules. But over time, that rigid blueprint, it started to soften. So the idea of Dharma begins to evolve. It starts shifting away from being just a rigid code, and it becomes more of an inspirational ideal. And the source of wisdom, it moves from these old law books and into the great epic stories, like the Ramcharitmanas. So instead of just being told what to do, people were shown what a dharmic life looked like. The hero of the story, Lord Rama, he becomes the living, breathing embodiment of Dharma. His life itself is the lesson. And this is a really crucial transition. The source of guidance changes from a code of conduct to a role model. It's not just about rules you have to follow anymore. Now it's about a life you aspire to live. The focus shifts from the letter of the law to the spirit of doing the right thing. And you can feel the shift in the kind of wisdom that's shared in the story. This quote, it's not a rule about social hierarchy. It's just timeless advice about listening to the people who have your best interests at heart. Dharma becomes about things like loyalty and wisdom and doing right by the people in your life, qualities that the heroes of the story live out every day. Okay, so we've seen Dharma as this external rulebook, and then as an inspirational story. But the final and maybe the most profound evolution of this idea is when the focus turns completely inward, and this massive shift is captured perfectly in the Bhagavad Gita. This question right here is the absolute crisis at the heart of the Gita. You have the hero, Arjuna, who's a warrior. His societal dharma, his duty, is to fight. But the enemy? It's his own family, his cousins, his teachers. His duty is in a head-on collision with his conscience. And this impossible situation forces a complete, radical rethinking of what dharma even is. So the Gita offers this revolutionary answer, the concept of swadharma. The word swa means one's own. And this suggests that your true duty isn't some generic rule that society hands you. No, it's a unique path that comes from your own essential nature. It's a duty that you have to discover from within. So you see the shift? We've moved from the external to the internal, from a set of rules based on your social position to a moral compass based on your authentic self. It's no longer about just playing a part that's been assigned to you. It's about being who you truly are. So then the Gita gives us a method for how to actually live this svadharma. It's called nishkama karma, or selfless action. Step 1, you have to discover your unique duty, your svadharma. Step 2, you perform that duty with absolute commitment to the best of your ability. And then step 3, and this is the real game changer, you let go of the outcome. You detach from the fruits of your labor. You act, but you aren't controlled by a desire for success or a fear of failure. This beautiful paradox from the text really captures the whole idea. By acting, but without being attached to the result, you find this incredible sense of freedom and peace, even when you're in the middle of intense action. You do what you have to do, but the results, they don't get to define your inner peace. So we've journeyed through 3 really powerful ways of looking at righteous action. We started with Dharma as the societal blueprint. Then we saw it as an inspiring story. And finally, we've arrived at Dharma as a personal inner compass. Each one gives a totally unique answer to that fundamental question of how we should live our lives. When you step back and look at the whole picture, what we've really traced is the remarkable journey of an idea from a system that was designed to control society from the outside in to a philosophy that's designed to liberate the individual from the inside out. And that brings us right back to where we started, but with a whole new perspective. See, the evolution of Dharma doesn't just leave us with a history lesson, it leaves us with a question that goes beyond any one text or tradition and asks each and every one of us to look within. What is your unique path? What is your Dharma?